Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Acapella Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip-hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Acapella, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out acapella.com. That's AKEPELE.com. Y'all, she got DJ Klyph back once again with another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast, brought to you whenever I have an opportunity to connect with really cool people, and today is definitely one of those. Things to remember: you can check out the Klyph Notes podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and of course at www.klyphnotes.com. Check me out all over social media at DJ Klyph for updates, some things to keep you updated on. Remember, on the 27th of September, we're doing the fall edition of Mic Check. It's going to be crazy. Our headliner is going to be Mike Capes. We have Fontaine coming through. My man Covey is going to be on the stage. We have a beat set from my man Love Jones. And, of course, our Mic Check DJs, DJ OG1 and Trox, are going to be in the building. We'll be doing the open mic situation. We'll also have the Mic Check Cypher. So a whole bunch of stuff going on. And we're also going to have a special guest who's going to come through. That is, I'm not going to tell you yet, but believe me, you don't want to miss this one, man. So it's going to be such a good night. It's the fall edition of Mic Check PDX. It goes down at the White Eagle on September the 27th. Tickets are available right now. We'll also be announcing another event that you're going to want to be aware of. That's coming up pretty quick too. So, definitely stay on the lookout for that. And, of course, remember, you can check me out every Saturday night at X-Ray FM. Welcome to the neighborhood from 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, representing the underrepresented on your airwaves. My next guest is somebody who I actually connected with through Welcome to the Neighborhood, and I've been building with over a number of years, and he was kind enough to grace the podcast with his presence. So, Kat, let him know who you are.
Yo, what's good? This is Jonny Cool.
It's good with you, bro.
Portland. Good, yo. Man, so good to be in this kind of atmosphere. We could actually chill.
Right. Because normally when you come through, I mean, it's always cool, but a lot of the conversations that we have are typically when the microphones are turned off. So it's cool to be able to just really chop with you like this, B.
Yeah, there's no like time crunch, really.
Exactly. And then you didn't come solo.
Right.
Yeah.
Got Megan from Galactic Star.
What up, Meg?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Good to be here.
Definitely good to have you here, man. Definitely good to have you. So man, like, what's been up, bruh? What's been up? Because you're here, but the last time that you were here, we were talking about a little bit of a geographic transition that you were making.
Yeah. So I've been in New York the last few months, really. Just I live there now, so
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, and it's a whole nother, like, literally a whole nother world. Once you, like, if you're not in New York as a tourist, like, you're just there to check it out, but, like, being able to adapt there and to pull the same inspiration, be in the same neighborhoods as our legends, like, walk through, like, oh, this is where they grew up, or, and you see, like, because their neighborhoods don't change. Like, there's some neighborhoods that are gentrified over there, but a lot of what rappers will call the hood, they look the same. They like 100-year-old buildings, old apartments. So it's real cool.
What's up, V? Well, for folk maybe who haven't had an opportunity to connect with you via the music that you put out or via the time that we've spent together, let's get everybody caught up on your story, man. So you're from Portland, Oregon.
From Portland, Oregon, born and raised. Actually, just not too far from here. Like, the first house I remember like living in as a child was right on Rodney and Jarrett, Northeast, right, just right down the street. And my mother was a singer, and my father he's still a traveling musician, so keyboardist. And my mom worked at that Safeway right down the street on Ainsworth and MLK. So yeah, just I went here with a King, with a Saban, with Irving, Tubman, Jeff.
So what's up, man? So you right at home.
Right at home, yeah. Just stayed in this whole neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah. And then you mentioned, man, you come from a musical family. Mom's was a musician, pops is a musician.
Yeah, and it was wild because it took me a while to actually jump in. I wasn't like a musical child. Like there was times where my mom would pull us up or like make us sing California Raisins or like make us do like Jackson 5 songs, or if they're doing karaoke at the house, like aunts will come over and they'd be like, John, dance, like, or like sing that Stevie Wonder song. I'm like shy, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait till I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And like always that kid, me and my brothers were like, well, I have a brother who's like about a year and a half older than me. So him and my sister, we were like the studio kids, like the kids that like if you couldn't find a babysitter, we'd be running around the studio open room, like, or at rehearsal, just like being like, hey, y'all chill out. Y'all gotta be quiet. So between my mom and my dad, we were always at some kind of rehearsal show back, like chilling down or watching them perform. So it was cool. Like, and maybe like after high school, I just want to really like sparked me. Like senior year was like I heard music differently.
Right.
I was curious about all the voices in the behind the track. I didn't realize it was called sampling. I didn't know anything about it. I was just curious. Like, I'm starting to listen to Earth, Wind and Fire on my own, but also these beats are like reminding me of that. You like hear the harmonies, and it's just like, what is that? So yeah, that's how it started.
So artistically, then, did you feel like you started off more in the production lane or more in using your vocal? What came first?
Definitely production, because that was the goal. I actually had a buddy I started with. His name was Eric Tompkins, and he was like the only person I would talk to about just the beats. I'd be like, yo, the Heat Makers or the Neptunes or these guys, you hear that what is that? Boop 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 boop. He would geek out just like me.
Yeah.
And so I remember, excuse me, allergies are kicking my butt today.
You good? You back in the Northwest now?
Right. Whoa. So, I just remember like asking him like, "Yo, do you want to make music with me? Like produce? Do you want to actually do this?" I was 20 years old at the time where I decided to be a producer, and he would always say like, and plus you're with friends, you're gonna freestyle, you're gonna say some things, and like I would have like one-liners. I would have like one line I could do. Like everybody's freestyling so cool, and I was like, my turn is coming up. I don't know what to say. I got one bar pretty much, and so I would kick it, and everybody would be like, "Oh, cool," and that was it. I was like, "Oh, I'm not rapping no more." So my buddy was like, "Bro, you have to do it. You gotta write. You should rap more." Because I was like, we should do a duel, but I could be like Pete Rock, and you can be CL Smooth, and I could just produce for you.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, we both gotta do it." And I was like, "Okay, you'll be the better rapper." I didn't want to be the lesser of the group. I didn't want to be like just the add-on rapper. Like, oh, I was like, I'm not Spliff Star, man. I'm like, so I'm like, I don't want to just be, ooh. But I just. After a while, I was like, you know what? I do like this. And I remember like my first rap, as usual, it's always about yourself.
Right.
It's like your little intro. And it was always, I always had the space theme because that was just a part of my dreams growing up. That was always a part of like me drawing spaceships, drawing pyramids and all that. So my first lines were like, Jonny Cool, stargazer #1, blast stop from the third rock from the sun. And that's like, from there, I would use that at every intro to like a freestyle cipher. I'm like, Jonny Cool, stargazer #1, and from there, I could like make up whatever. It just gave me a comfort to like, oh, I can rap. This is rapping.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is like not use that intro no more and just rap.
Yeah.
So. And then there was a couple kids used to like battle rap. 106 in Park, Freestyle Friday was hot.
Yeah.
So we would always like try to battle. So that actually got me better because one guy was really good, and so I was like, I don't like to be in a room with somebody who's like the best.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be. How about we could both be like that level? I don't want to be lesser than you. I don't mind being greater than you, but I just don't. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to be like, like, oh, he's the good rapper in the room.
Yeah.
I was like, you could be a good rapper too.
Yeah.
So practice. I just didn't quit. I didn't take it like it was fake. I added it to making music every day. So I was like, okay, even if I just got drums, I'm gonna just what?
Mm-hmm.
So that became like it was like hand in hand, finding patterns along with different beat patterns. Cause I liked hip hop producers, but I also liked R&B producers.
Mm-hmm.
I would find out who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still like naturally like I think I'm a reincarnated old dude, but just listening to like Bobby Womack and like just naturally like singing, like knowing the lyrics. I'm not like trying to sample from these guys. I'm just like, dang, this song is deep. Like, whoa. Donna Summers or Melba Moore, some people who are like dance vibes or.
Do you think that comes from coming from a musical family? From your youth, I'm sure you were exposed to those artists who were making music in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah, and actually right because, my older sister, she's 10 years older than me, so, being born in '86, the music that she liked to listen to, plus my parents are like, they're like. From how the generation is now, they're considered like you got some old parents,
right?
Like because my dad is, I'm 32, my dad is 64, 65, 64, 65, and so the music that was just being played because they like to listen to it was like my dad was into like Cameo and like Herbie Hancock, and my mom was all like Shy Lights, Harold Melvin. Like she loved the Steppers. She loves like the Temptations, showmanship. She's like Diana Ross, Natalie Cole. My dad was like, listen to the production, like listen to this, like the groups, jazz bands. What else does my dad listen to? He listened to like besides his music. A lot of times it's like his music around the house, but that kind of rubbed off on me to where I just like liked it because I like their music just like I like my siblings' music because I was like, by the time I was able to pick out my own music was, I like Mace. I thought Mace was really cool.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I like Mace. I think the first tape I ever bought was "Don't Push Me" because we're close to that age.
Wow, that's
Puffy and Mace.
Classic, right there.
I was at Saban and we had music class and then we like, okay, bring in your song that you like to listen to, but it got to be radio edit.
Right.
So back then they were selling the singles. They had the radio version.
Right.
So I got in trouble because the cousin version came on first, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to fast forward it.
Yeah.
I just know that it's like track number 2.
Right.
So, and plus they had the instrumental, so I was able to just like
just
vibe to it, and I was like, wow. I like started to remember like I liked it because it did remind me of something that my dad listened to. And it's like, oh, that's right, because it's a sample. Like,
right.
It was just all that, like the simple delivery. It was fun. So
yeah, definitely a bit of a different time, I think.
Yeah.
Just in that lane of rhyme style for sure. So fast forward then, I was first introduced to you through work that you did with Champagne Dwayne.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because
Champ.
when I first shout out to Champagne Dwayne, that's my guy. When I first was introduced to you, I was introduced to you as a lyricist.
Ooh. Oh whoa.
Right. So I didn't even know you. I didn't even know that you were into production at first because I don't remember the song, but there was a song where you and Champagne go back and forth.
Oh yeah, I got you.
The visuals was the first thing I saw.
Okay.
Because I had been building it with Dwayne for a minute, and then I found out like that you were also a producer. Just that was when I began to see how how multi-talented you are. We can get into some of the other stuff that you do, but then when I met you came through, and then I met Megan. So how did y'all link?
Oh man, Megan and I met through a mutual friend. I've known for like a while. She's always like interested in the friend I knew. Susie, she was interested in being like an A&R like ever since like I knew her. So she was like, I remember like this is when I first started working with like Tyus way back when he was like 16. So
Yeah.
like she hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm in Atlanta. I'm trying to talk to these people. Do you know any like artists I should work with?" But I was like, she's like, "I know you do your thing, but do you know anybody who's like got songs out?" Because I didn't have no songs out. So I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, these guys." I was trying to link her with Tyus at the time, or just that whole crew, but. I don't know what happened on her end, so something must have just happened. So I didn't hear from her for like a year. I was like, oh. So when she hit me up, I was kind of like, I want to talk to you. You know, you didn't, you was hyping it up and you disappeared without, So, but it's just life. So I didn't hold her account. Like I wasn't mad or nothing like that. So we ended up, we hung out, we talked. Said she was still into it, and she said she knew. She Actually, I don't even think she told me about making love. I think it was like I was just like knowing that she was wanting to do business, and so I was like, all right, well, here's my number. Hit me up. I'll be at my homie's house in Northeast Portland in his basement. We're just making music.
Yeah.
So then, Megan, you could tell the rest of the story because I was.
Then Susie and I just happened to kind of be in the same neighborhood one night. And we just hit him up, and she had told me that she felt like there was someone I should meet because I was trying to get into. I also was trying to get into more management and A&R type things.
Yeah.
I had known a lot of artists that were super talented, but they didn't know how to get from just being talented to even having a website or the key things that they needed to do, like build up their social media, have business cards, merchandise, all these little things. They just didn't even think about it. So it was like I was really interested in finding someone to work with like that. And Susie at the time had kind of just been like, oh, there's these two people I want to introduce you to. And Jonny happened to be one of them.
Yeah.
And the night that I met Jonny, it was just like an instant, this is it. It just felt important. And so then him and I just stayed in contact. And I think a couple of weeks went by, and it also was cool that he was into the metaphysics too, so it really helped our business sense because it was like we could do music and also have a spiritual aspect as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is always cool to be able to do, have good vibes and just be able to communicate and work.
That's cool because what I was getting at is somebody who is as multi-talented as Jonny is, sort of multifaceted, and all the things that he can do that make it easier or more challenging to connect him with opportunities. Because dude is like every time I look up, like every time we meet, it's like, oh yeah, I'm working on this. What? You know what I'm saying? So there's so many things to choose from to pick from. Does it make it easier, or does it make it more challenging, or is that's just Jonny?
It's kind of both. It can definitely be more challenging just because on the production end, it's sometimes hard to get like the good paying gigs, versus just the cool collaborations, which are always dope, but those only get you so far.
Right.
Especially when you're in the city, unless you can connect to higher artists who are farther in the industry. And so that kind of was our focus too, was just focusing on production for a while. And so now that he's working on his vocal project, I'm extremely excited because I know that his audience is much larger because he's so multi-talented. And because he doesn't just rap, he sings, and he's got a very unique flow, and he's very diverse too. And his lyrics don't sound the same, it's very different.
Yeah.
So I know it'll go over well, and I think that his fan base is a very interesting group of people.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring that up. Excuse me. I was looking through some of the joints, and the joint that you did, Klingon, I think is a great example of how your style is how it plays well off of other styles. Right?
Yeah.
So for folks who don't know, Klingon is a joint that you did. You released a minute ago, and you have Mike Crenshaw on that one.
Yeah, Mike Crenshaw.
And then you have a young lady, and I'm frantically searching for her name.
Oh, Charmaine.
Yeah, Charmaine is on there, and I think that the differences in the three of those vocal styles, it's so unique that it creates this it's like this thing that's real pleasant to the ear, which I think is dope, man.
Yeah, it's like what helps me with creativity is texture too. It's like that's a huge part, like color, texture, sound texture, especially because like sometimes if people know I hit them up, like, yo, can you get on the track? Like your voice texture. I need your voice texture for this beat.
Yeah.
It's not so much of what your verse is gonna be like. I'm pretty sure you're a super dope rapper, but like you on the microphone sounds really dope.
Right.
And when I talk to artists like that, especially rappers, it takes away that pressure of like, this is another rapper who just wants to be on his song,
Right.
or this is a producer who just wants me to rap on his beat.
Right.
He's like, he's trying to create something at least. And so that's what I was thinking about with Klingon was like, it has like a bit of like, like you said, certain styles that was inspired by, like, it has some of that old NERD Pharrell vibe
Yeah.
with this Beatles UK kind of sound as far as like the harmonies and like like not really straightforward vocals. Like there's no like there's no vibrato really. I just wanted to have those like folky kind of vibe, but also the R&B. Who is it? Cameo. Cameo inspired me to do the chorus. It was like the claps came in. It was like, okay, I'm gonna pick up the beat with the claps. Pow.
Yeah.
And it's like clap, pow, clap, pow, pow. So that's usually do that little 80s vibe. So just pulling from all types of like what I want to do, but it was all texture really. So
and it's funny because that is something that I think is obvious when people listen to your music, especially the stuff I hear you on vocally that you share with me that you've produced. You're so thoughtful in the process, and I don't know that that's always something that's a part of an artist's mindset. A lot of times it's I just want something that's hot. I just want people to turn up, which is cool, but you can, the way that you break down the journey that you're on musically, sonically, I think is very, very unique. And I think that those are things that when you go back and listen to a song for the fourth, fifth, and sixth time, those are those songs you're like, well, I didn't even hear that the first time I listened to it. There's there are those layers to it that I think those are the songs that tend to last for for a long time.
Right, yeah, I appreciate it because that's real. Like that's how I think Klingon. Like people hear it for the first time, they're like, okay, all right, this is it. Like I gotta, I'll check it out again because like they'll hear it and all the sections just kind of pass by you. Like, oh, after he sung that little part, then all these horns come in for his backup are like horns too. So, and then when the strings come in at the end, the melody is like the same as the bass line for the chorus. Like you can't tell. It's like do 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 do. So it's like whoa. Like musically, you'll be like you'll start to pull. And Philip Bailey had a song called "Go," with him and Phil Collins like on the drums. So at the end of the Klingon, I was like, "Go,
yeah,
do 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 do." It was the same like way he said it. So I was like, that was part of the inspiration too. But it's like, oh shoot, like if you know about like other groups, that's why listening to all those songs kind of paid off. Like if you listen to like Usher and like 80s R&B, like or just modern artists, most likely your music is going to be inspired by it because that's all you have.
Right.
But like I said, I listen to people like Greg Perry and like all these obscure soul people, Willie Hutch. Just like I would listen to Trey Songz, like just somebody, just like how you listen to this person. I'm like, yo, this guy got 7 albums I haven't heard yet. Like if I like one, I'm not gonna treat him like he's an old.
Right.
I'm just listening to classic music today.
Right.
It's like, nah, I'm listening to this guy's album. Like he wrote it. He wrote these lyrics, or if not, he's performing them.
Shout out to my man Jonny Cool. The other thing, or one of the other things that I think is really cool is how stylistically how talented you are. I mean, you rock so many different styles, and you've already talked about where some of that comes from. You like a lot of different styles of music, but you're able to not just enjoy that by consumption. Creatively, you create so many different styles of music. You had an opportunity to perform at Mic Check a while ago, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That was, I mean, I was gonna get at, man, you killed it. So that was the first time that I ever saw you perform with the band, live band. And bruh, I was not expecting that.
Yeah,
Like your live show is nice, B.
Thank you. Yeah, and it was cool because I wrote the music. They were all my production, like live. So
Yeah,
it was like it's another home for me. If you talk to me, I'm like real mellow, but on stage I get to be like my other self,
Yeah.
where I have a purpose why I would be real boisterous or like get my point across over this beat real smooth, or like just or let the band play it because it was once a loop on Fruity Loops, and now it's being played live.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah,
every producer's dream, really.
yeah. Just to see your creation played out like that.
Yeah, and like I just think about all those ciphers and all those like people saying I don't understand your rap, or like speak up, you know, all these different things about my rhymes, but to do them, it's people, hey, yo, that was a dope, you know, that was so dope, and getting opportunities to open up or to play with people, you know, really. And like mic check was huge. Like I just remember like some guy came up to me and said, "You did like a Jay-Z show. That's like a Jay-Z performance." Like, that's a Jay-Z performance.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. I was like, "But bro, you dressed like Jay-Z." He was wearing like all white. I was like, "Oh."
So then Megan, you know, Jonny brings up I think something that I thought until I really got to sit and talk with him. He is so reserved and quiet when you just sitting and talking to you. You know what I mean? You have that. Like I said, that's why I was I was not surprised, but it was so cool to see you do your thing on stage and just open up that way, even though you hear it on record. So when you're, you know, making connects and introducing them to people, is that something that you feel like you have to help people see, you know, beyond the soft spoken, you know, sort of gentle man that's sitting here, that there's so much energy there?
It really depends. Like if we're at an event, Johnny is actually really good at networking after shows and talking to people and kind of mingling in the room, because I think it's probably that energy after he gets off stage, even though he's exhausted, it's like still an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
But when it's people who haven't really met him,
Right.
just because he looks so reserved and he doesn't look like a typical hip hop artist,
Right.
sometimes it was more difficult to bridge the gap of, oh, can we get it on to this show or open for this person, until you show the music. And kind of every time there was a face-to-face meeting, though, it's like Johnny's vibe and everything, the calmness, I think actually helps.
Word.
I think the reservedness is actually more powerful in a way, because it makes people kind of be like, oh, okay, this guy's really talented, but he's super humble.
Yeah.
And then you want to work with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. That's true. Like I was gonna say, yeah, I'm humble, but but no, I was told that actually at a studio I just started working out of in New York. This guy was like, man, because I went to like a industry like little mixer. They had some like, it was supposed to be like a legendary studio. It seemed pretty cool. It was called East Side Sound. That's where, that's right. That's where Luther Vandross recorded Dance with My Father.
Oh, word.
So yeah, I went there and I was like chilling so I saw that the guy was playing like, for this room, he was playing like music on Spotify and he had it open. And they're like, oh, check out this guy. So I was like, can I play some, I just put on a beat tape. Like, I just want to play some vibes, you know?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, no. He was like, no, I'm cool. He's like, nah, bro. I'm gonna just play my stuff for a little while and I'm gonna play some stuff I like to listen to. So I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so he left and some other guys took over and they were just like, forget it, you know. I'm gonna just ask because I'm like, I don't know none of y'all, but some of these guys are like, I'm from the Bronx. If he really is mad at me, he's gonna tell me.
Right.
So they were playing their music, so I was like, hey, you know, I threw my music in the mix, and the rooms like just changed, like, because everybody was like, they're all producers, but they had similar vibes. In my head, like, y'all could have been in the same group.
Yeah.
A production group.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's all trap music now. But But I was just showing them like varieties of artists I work with, and like Dwayne stuff, and like Tyus and stuff, Alexis Whitney, my stuff, Solomon Starr,
Yeah.
and they were just like, "Whoa!" And some dude was like, "Bro, you won! Like you didn't tell people because everybody else was kind of like, bro, this is a slap. Play this. This is a slap." And I was just kind of like, "Hey, yo, can I play 3 beats?
Yeah.
I just want to play 3."
Yeah.
And one of them was like, I got this rough draft of this song I'm singing. Like I got one verse on it, so I played that one. It has this military, not military, marching band. I sampled a marching band, like 3 different marching band videos from YouTube. Cut them up. It got the drums so thick.
Yeah.
And so that was the first thing they heard was like, whoa, like. And I did this cool little breakdown, but they were just like, you didn't tell us you had. I'm like, I don't know how to tell you. This is not my introduction. Like, I don't know how to do that because I'm still inspired by like the Funk Brothers, like Tony Ozier, my dad, all these people who have really solid music out there. It sounds really good. And so like, I don't have a vocal project out to be like, this is it. Like my beat tapes I'm really proud of. But that's like a whole nother, that's like, I finally got that book out of my head. Like I don't have to do that no more. And so now it's like, what are you writing about? What are you thinking about now? So until I push that out, I don't like, I'm still probably going to be like, that's not going to be my introduction. Like, yo, this is a hit song.
Right.
But it's always going to be like, I'm confident enough to play this in a room like sit with some like really legendary guys and just kind of be like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, I'm not really looking for their approval, but kind of like
just their feedback.
Yeah, just check this out, see what y'all feeling like.
Well, let me ask you this. So fall in the winter, spring in the summer.
Yeah.
That's the beat tape series. When you started work, because obviously you're always working on something. Was that a concept that you had? Did you want to create something that felt seasonal, that each one felt different? Like, what was the process of coming up with that? That project?
That actually is wild because that whole project started years ago, like 2013, 14. It was because I was I wouldn't say diagnosed, but I was told from a like coordinator at Art Institute of Portland that I had synesthesia. So you have a strange synesthesia, and I was like, I didn't know what that was. What she was telling me, because I was like, nah, I'm diabetic.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't know if I'm synesthesia. I was like looking at myself, and she says, no, you see all the sounds and the colors, because I was telling her about texture. I always been talking about texture.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain, like, the sound has to feel like this, So from there, I wanted to match the sound with the way that people felt for their seasons. And so, like, the fall beat tape, you're going to notice it's like a little bit more rough, a little crackles, a little sample dust from it, a little bit more sharp snares, because you're getting ready for change. It's like fresh. It's cool. Like, we go into this fall fashion, but it's like beautiful, but it's also like there's like some darkness coming around it. The samples are darker. They're not 808 and happy. And it's like one, because you get some really nice days in the fall.
Yeah.
But I want you to feel that way. And I started that like because I wanted to do a film with it, and it wasn't going to be as many beats. It was going to be like a few beats on each album, and I wanted to make a movie with it, with just like ballerinas and like it's cool. But until then, I just started the project, and I didn't know how to mix back then as well.
Yeah.
I knew how to make my beats sound good, but I didn't know how to make them sound good for every headphones or speakers. I didn't know how to master.
Yeah.
I didn't know about going to studios to get it mastered. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I worked out of studios, but I wasn't like asking the right questions. So I started hearing it compared to other music on my iPod. I was like, this sounds so low. Like, I don't want to put it out. Like, just took it down. Took it down off the internet. You know, like, I remember we had it on for a while. I got some good feedback. Nobody ever told me it was too low, but I just was like, I heard it. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Take it down, man. Do it again. So I only kept 4 to maybe 7 of those tracks and mixed them a little bit, changed them a little bit. But every other track I made since November
Okay.
of 2017.
Okay.
So-
So a lot of newer material. And they're like you said at first you thought they wouldn't have very many songs, but they're like 12 songs in these joints.
Yeah. So it's 48 tracks altogether.
Okay.
And each album has 12 tracks.
Yeah.
And Summer has the longest. I would say the songs are longer on Summer.
Okay. So that's the greatest runtime of the whole project.
Yeah, because the majority of the tracks were like a minute, 10 seconds, just because like, not because they're like loops, but also, it was all about the ending and giving you what you want to hear, like not just right away, but to where you play it again, play it again, play it again.
Right.
And I don't want to make you a 5-minute instrumental. Just the points there, the first run around, like intro, body, breakdown, or maybe outro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just want that, and you don't. If you really like it, you just play it again. You don't have to make the song longer. No, or you can play it. You can play it twice. It's cool.
And the projects are everywhere, but they're also on your website, JonnyCool86.com.
Yep. The website is like still evolving, so I'm just like Megan and Solomon Starr, they're like pros at it. So I just know I'm like, oh, I could give an idea of what the picture should be, but then I'll change my mind. I'm like, oh, this picture is cool for a little while, and then I'm like, but I always not to forget to ask them to change it. But time flies by until I look at it. I'm like, oh, I don't want that picture no more. That was me 2 months ago. Like, I don't even see that. I don't want to see that color. I want to see orange now. I want to see like I wore a green jacket. It has to be what I'm feeling right now. Just so.
That's where it's got to be good to have a team around you, so that you have people who can maybe take on some of those things. You don't have to try to do it all on your own when you're focusing on your art. Real quick, man, I want to give a shout out to my folk over at Acapella Apparel. They've been supporting the Klyph Notes podcast for a year now, and it's been really cool to vibe with them. You should check out their website, Acapella Apparel. It's AKEPELE.com. They just put up they have a new t-shirt that they are pushing right now. Dope graffiti art. But it's a company that really fits with the culture and lifestyle of hip hop. So check them out, and you'll see the Acapella t-shirts all over Portland, but also worldwide. So once again, shout out to our folk at Acapella, AKEPELE.com. Chopping up my man Jonny Cool and Miss Megan in here talking about a bunch of stuff, including the latest release, the fall in the winter, spring in the summer.
Yep.
Beat tape that's out everywhere. You can stream it as well on Spotify and all of your streaming services. It's on Apple Music. It's everywhere.
Yep. Even Pandora.
Pandora. Word. That's what's up.
Yeah, I got a channel. That's cool.
That's what's up. No doubt. So go check out my man. I want to spend just a little bit of time. So if you go to the website, you can check out a bunch of content there. But there's also a link on the website that will take you to Galactic Star. And I think visually, if people check out some of the visuals that you've done in the past, and I think you even mentioned it, that's a part of your aesthetic, sort of. And you definitely mentioned it, Megan, the idea of incorporating spirituality. Well, not incorporating; it's a part of our lives. But you've done something with that to present it to people in a way that they can connect with. So can you talk a little bit about what Galactic Star is and how that fits in everything you're doing, Jonny?
Yeah, so when Megan and I, after a while, we've been talking, we decided to start a company about it. And my first thought to Megan was that I don't want to be like a gospel. I'm not a gospel rapper, so I don't want to come off as just making all spiritual hip hop music or something like that, like rap about throat chakra, hip hop, I was like, nah. But it's like I want to still be able to do everything I want to do, but know that there is a galactic presence about it, and we have to raise the consciousness of really being yourself all the way. And so that was one of the quotes I always said, my definition of the coolest is to be thyself to the fullest. and like accepting my duality, my dark, my light. Like not to judge. And so we wanted to really build on how to do so. Megan is really good at like reading people, real intuitive, and so we really use our intuition on ideas really, and creating processes or marketing processes. And so her, Megan, and it was the girl Susie that introduced us to each other. She was a part of that company, but she had other plans, so she got real busy in life. So it just was like afterwards, Megan and I were like, no, we should still do this. Like we shouldn't stop because of that. So uh, the more we got to know each other, I like let her know like, hey, this is like my origins. Like this is why I talk about being a stargazer. This is why I talk about having ties to Jupiter, Orion, all these other constellations. This is why I'm really into it. So it's not like I just like stars or just like I like space.
Yeah.
It was like a tribal name for myself. It's like a real thing. And so, and her mother, you could tell it.
Yeah, and my mom is heavily into metaphysics and the spiritual. She owns a crystal store called Celestial Awakenings, and so I've always kind of had a thing for energy and rocks and kind of being like making sure like that my energy was clear and that every situation we went into where we felt good about it, if we had like a feeling inside that was like maybe not do this, following that. And also in music in general, music is a universal language and you can reach so many people. So it was really important to me to work with somebody who paid attention to that and knew that we always wanted to have like an underlying message of unconditional love as well, and really like pushing like Jonny said, non-judgment, really being yourself to the fullest, because that is important. Self-love is something that many of us are working on, and so it was just really important for us to bring all of those things together into a community where other people who felt kind of odd or like they weren't normal or they had these other ideas, they felt like they were from the stars or whatever their situation was, they had a place where they can come and talk to like-minded people or listen to music that really they can feel a vibe in, because a lot of the music is kind of diluted nowadays. There's not much of a message anymore.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So the website to get more information about that aspect, it's galacticstar.com. That's Galactic Star with 2 R's at the end.com. There's a bunch of cool information there, and I'll also link you to some of the music that you've created. So you talked about now New York is sort of home for you.
Yeah.
Moved out to New York, started working on music. Now I know that there are some things we can't talk about, which I'm sad, but we can't talk about right now. I know that there's some stuff you've been working on we can't talk about yet.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you've been working on that we can talk about.
Yep.
So the move out into New York, let me know. Aside from the beat tape, let me know what else you cooking.
So I am working on a vocal project.
Okay.
And I'll say like I want to use, when I say I'm gonna use everything I got, I'm gonna use everything I got. Like not every single beat, but everything as far as my music history, like connections. I'm calling out to everybody who I feel like can make this project work as a science project, really. Like I want it to feel like all the music I love, like from every era. Like my sister plays, she was in love with that with Dino, like 80s and stuff like that, and New Kids on the Block, and like just that whole colorful era of like Kid and Play, and just from that, even from that range, that rocker dude who's like just t-shirt and jeans, a crazy guitar music. What is that? Sex and Candy. So what is it? Something Garden. You know what I'm talking about? I smell sex and candy. Yeah, in my right connection.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like something garden. People are gonna laugh at me like, you don't know that dude.
That's all right. That's all
yeah,
right.
yeah. But stuff from that era, like pulling all my mellow, like I didn't want to just make it. Like, it's not gonna be like a long project, because if anything, I could cut it in half and do like a B side, or just make them into EPs and just keep releasing them. But there are so many different genres that I want to pull from that I'm in love with. Even like the system, like the way that you use rock and roll, it's just or guitar. I won't even call guitar all rock and roll, but just those vibes. Really, just to be creative with my voice, push through being nasally all the time because of my allergies. But that's the only thing that slows down the process. But meeting a really cool engineer out there. His name is JJ, and it turns out we're like I grew up with his family. I just never met him. Like,
That's crazy.
He's the only person I haven't met out of his whole family. It was just like, wow, like I could talk to you about your family like you were there, you know.
Yeah.
So he's a crazy engineer, like a scientist, and he works out of a big rehearsal hall called SIR out there. And we actually, when we have our sessions, we try it out. He's like really good at, hey, why don't you try it like this? And I have some kind of like echo panning thing that could go left to right and up and down, whatever, make your voice do this, and I want to see what it's like. And I'm like, yeah, hey. Or I'm gonna record something, and can you just give me the vocals, and I'm gonna run it through some kind of crazy robotic filter, and I'm gonna send it back to you, and I want you to do like that, you know, whatever. So just to make vocal effects of like, I could say Stargazer, and it breaks up, like you hear it go everywhere on your like speakers. Like that's weird. So just like stuff like that, really to make it like a good cinematic like piece of art, to where I'm not looking for the big hit. I'm not looking for a radio hit. I'm looking for like a nostalgia of like, I want this record. I just want this record because it's like, it's strange enough that it's new, but it's makes me remember everything that I loved about like songs. And I just like, I don't care, like I don't you know, got come a hip hop artist or a pop artist or anybody, just be like, he makes songs that are good, you know.
Right.
He makes, because like when people worry about genres, you already are in a genre of music, because art has cooking, art is painting, art is fashion, music, all types of stuff. So you don't have to be like, well, what kind of music art are you? Like, I'm already a genre. Like I make art, I make music art. So I like to tell people I make music art, and they go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess, you know. So and it just so happens that artists I get to work with, that's why I don't get offended, but it's just kind of like, I just never follow through when people say, oh, you make dope beats, send me some beats. And I'm like, I don't really do it like that unless I know you already. Because I gotta know who you are, and that will help me to make you the real song that you need, like not just a hot beat that you can rap over it. A lot of times it doesn't go. You're forcing yourself into this track, and I can at least tell you why I made it, where I made it from, you know, just so we can feel like we're a group for one moment.
I love that you have this sort of this collaboration process that you go through. I think it is a bit unique, at least in the genre of hip hop. I think that's a bit unique. Maybe in other genres of music, not quite so much. Unless you're in a group. But I think even to a certain degree in groups now, with the blessing of the internet and being able to Dropbox beats to this one and that one, you don't always have that opportunity to sort of sit in a room with someone and vibe and get a sense for what they're looking for or your vision for the project. So I love the fact that is a part of your creative process. But I also think that that's one of the reasons that, you know, you can listen to, or I can listen to something that you've created and think, wow, that sounds so different than anything I've ever heard from you before. It just, and that's one of the cool things about the B tape is people listen to the B tape series and they get to hear just how multifaceted you are with your styles. They get to hear a little bit of everything, which is going to be cool.
Yeah. And that's why I'm glad people say, like, the first thing I think somebody told me, there was a lady I met in New York, I let hear my beat tape, and she, like, Summer, she goes, all these different like sounds. You know, you have like they're not all just it's not just like one kind of beat. Like I could have gave you all like smooth boom bap
Right.
samples, but I was like, yeah, I got these like Timberland like drum beat
Yeah.
thing that I'm doing, or I got some old like, you know, ladies. What is his name? Craig Davis kind of vibes, all types of stuff. So it's just you know how I'm feeling is like it's all about the texture. So I didn't want to. I'm not trying to bore you or just prove that I make hip hop beats.
Right.
It's
Right.
like,
Right.
this is for you. It's like a book. You gotta you start to listen to it. The more and that's what is cool about it was seasonal. Like everybody has their favorite seasons, and other seasons there's some things you like about them. Like I love summer, but there's a lot that I don't like about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I feel like just like the albums, you're gonna be like, Johnny, I like your fall album. I like a few tracks out of it, but I really like your winter project.
Got you. Yeah.
And so that's just how you talk to people. Some people are like, I love this season of winter.
Yeah.
The way it feels. I usually go ski or whatever. And some people are like,
Yeah. Yeah.
not do not bring the winter to me. I want to leave. You know,
That's what's
where
up.
it's spring all the time. So yeah,
The vocal project that you're working on, you said it's not going to be a lot of joints, but it sounds like it'll be similar to that. In that you're going. So you talked about the difference between the beat tape, how each beat tape had a different feel, but what you described, it sounds like the vocal project is going to sort of encompass all of that.
Yeah,
Where within that one project, you're going to get a bunch of different. Stylistically, you're going to get a bunch of different feels on that.
yep. And it's really the cool thing about it is like what songs people gravitate to from my vocal project will kind of let me know like where not where they see me at, but like they say, hey, Johnny, like the songs where you're rapping and singing and doing your own harmonies are really dope. Like I really like those. Or Johnny, like your raps where you just rap over like a dusty hip hop or soul loop. Those are crazy, you know. It's all like, okay, I should make more of those. I should make more of these. I'll just keep note, but it's really to show that like the art of song making is what I really see, but also music is like, you know, not to go on drift off, but music is so spiritual, and I feel like it helps me to. I'm giving songs like that to adapt to people, because if I'm supposed to reach out to people and relate to them, it is possible for me to relate to everybody on this planet somehow, like everybody. And there's a shaman named Black Hawk who helped me through the years, and he told me one day, he said, you can't help everybody. In my head I was like, you're right, but now I'm like, you know what, I think you're wrong. I probably can, you know, like just give me some time, you know. I'm still kind of young, you know. Buddhism, you're still considered a youth until you're 35. And so I say, hey, I got some time. If I could be here on this planet for it, to show y'all that I got something for you, something for you. You know, I'm not gonna force it either, but it's just something I'm gonna work on naturally, just to have that project complete. And I challenge myself not to shave or grow my hair all the way up until I do it. This is like the longest everything's been.
Yeah.
And so like, whoa, I can actually, you know, it shows spiritual growth, album growth, but also health too. You know, your hair is your health, however you say it. But
that's what's up, bro. And I love the fact that you are sticking true to your belief system in the sense that you're not letting the even the counsel of others get in the way of your belief that you can reach people where they are. I think that's pretty cool, man. You're here in Portland, and it's cool to have you here. I know you're working while you're here, but you're also creating an opportunity for people to connect with you coming up for a little listening event.
Yeah. So it was wild because I was like, well, I got this album and I want to do like an actual like beat tape. I want to do like a beat show, like just a beat set. Like I see people do it before, and I've done similar where I was able to break it down to people like, oh yeah, I used this sample, I did it this way. But now I just want to vibe, do your thing. So Saturday, and I'm working with one of the legendary Tony Ozier. So, and I look up to Tony because to me, he's a genius. You know, he's like a talented, multidisciplinary genius, but we're gonna come together and do a beat show at Future Shock Record Store. I believe the address is like 1914 Southeast Burnside.
Okay.
Yeah, from 6 to 9 p.m. All ages, no cover. Soup coolers. Marcus Branch will be providing snacks, voodoo donuts,
Word.
and I'm trying to get on the line about some kind of beverage. But I think water should be cool for everybody.
No doubt. No doubt.
Fresh squeezed air juice. Just drink that.
I like that.
And,
I like that.
right. And so that'd be a cool night. Like just to see what Tony's been working on, see what I've been working on. Play some stuff that I'm gonna play some stuff that I don't have online.
Word.
I'm gonna play some stuff that I've been like experimenting with. I might even be able to throw some stuff out that I have vocals on, just to show, because we're all here as a, it's family friendly. So bring whoever you want to. Bring your granny, bring your son, bring your anybody.
Yeah.
Just to really show like Tony's creativity. Cause he's known as Beats Galore,
Right.
So like, whoa,
Yeah.
like,
and he just released Beast Galore Volume 3.
oh wow,
So
yeah.
both of y'all got new material out.
So yeah, I'm interested to see what he's up to. We actually been working together, from back and forth from New York. That's kind of
word.
what inspired us to actually like do this too. He worked on a song with Damon. Damon, he's a singer from Rose Tribe. But I've been sending Tony some of my sounds just to see what he feels like, and like feels good for him to be like for the feedback too. So I don't get like nervous, but I'm like, oh man, he hit me up in 2 days. What is he thinking about these beats? And so, but he likes them.
That's what's up. And it's good to have that community, man. I have an opportunity to talk to people every once in a while, and it's good to have a new set of ears to sort of bounce ideas off of, or people that are not in your immediate circle all the time.
Yeah.
But then people who will give you that real honest feedback. So I think it's cool that that you guys have developed that relationship.
Yeah, because I blame Tony on me being able to perform how I do. Really, it was his Dookie Jams where I was going to back when they were every week at the Calabash.
Yeah.
And from there, when they had them at they moved to like 9, that building like right across the street for a while.
Right.
And then Someday Lounge is when it was like, I loved it because the crowd is like the stage was like front and center.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was a real like venue to perform to. So I took those shows a bit more serious, and I brought my performance game up a little better because, one, you're freestyling. Like I didn't have verses like that. I didn't have like a whole bunch of verses to be on stage and like, oh, drop the beat, I'm gonna just kick this verse. I'm like, man, they played this rock beat. I kind of sucked at freestyling tonight because I didn't think they were gonna do that, but I don't know how to freestyle over that drum pattern yet. So it challenged me to like, okay, next week I got 7 days. I'm gonna come back, better outfit, better show set, whatever, and just do it. And so think about that for like a year, years out. So it just sharpened my performance skills. And but yeah, we vibe off of each other now, so it's real cool. Like the beat set at Future Shock Saturday the 8th, September 8th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. All ages, free to get in. And it's just gonna be real cool. Like I don't know how big that place is, but if we pack the place, we should all just turn it into a block party. Like I know how to get the block. I'll shut the block down for you.
Well, and my listeners are familiar with Future Shock because we had the cats we had Derek and Jonas from A Beat Happening, and they do their monthly beat series over at Future Shock.
Ooh.
So my audience is very familiar, and the fact that you're keeping it all ages and free, they're used to having that experience over at Future Shock as well. So I think it's gonna be a great fit. I think people are going to really get a treat to see both you and Tony on a bill together. And I say a bill, and it's crazy because Future Shock is so it's such a chill spot, and so close in proximity to the artist. But I think that folk will really vibe well in that space hearing y'all play beats.
Dope. And it's ironic that it's gonna be at Future Shock, a record store, because the goal like is for people to understand like these like Tony's project and my project, But one of my goals is to make hard copies for the Beat series
Oh,
and
word.
to eventually get them on vinyl. So like I was gonna wait to ask people to like if they were down to donate, because it's not, a donation is what you want to do,
Right.
but the donations would go towards me making hard copies for these, because like my dad is pretty old school. He's not gonna be listening to stuff. He's not gonna stream stuff and
Right.
download. Like I want to give him a really nice copy of it,
Yeah.
because I do have back art to it. So I have front art and back art. So
Oh,
I was
word.
like, and I have the special things. You can see. It's real cool. So that'd be it's a plan for me for the future. But as an artist, sometimes you gotta do everything by yourself,
Yeah.
and like it'd be cool with the help of the community. Just like our voices, we can make change. We can make this happen, and it'll only help me to give back and forth.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I dig it, man. I dig it. My guy Jonny Cool. So I'm gonna put the pressure on a little bit.
Yeah.
The vocal project. You have a target. Not even, I'm not gonna say date. Like a target time when we might be able to expect to see this thing.
Well, the whole entire project, it might be a little bit into 2018. I would say probably like into the summer of it.
A word.
But I would say I will definitely be releasing some songs before then, like sooner than you think.
That's
So
what's
it'll
up.
be passing you some ideas, like just to show what I have been working on, and like I would love for people to ask if this is going to be on the album, because the singles that I release will be totally different back to back. Like 3 songs I have lined up will be, you're gonna hope they're on the same, like this is the same album, right?
Right,
Okay,
right.
cool. All right, because you sure? Did you make this beat? Because it sounds like a whole other producer and a group of people. Like, did you go to Japan? But yeah. So I would definitely, I would say this time, 2019, you should have the full project, because some endeavors I got into out in New York will hopefully get me to speed up that process with like a bigger studio access, and also just the right musicians out there. And so I'm meeting some really cool musicians out there. So like that's one thing. I just wanted this project to be what I wanted to be, and people be patient with it too. So
Yeah. That's what's up.
yeah.
Yeah. I wanna make sure you don't let nothing slip.
Right.
Because if I'm telling you, bro, once it comes out, I'm gonna be like, yo.
Oh man, the first joint I'm gonna when I shoot it to you, I'm like, because I'm gonna be I'm rhyming and I'm singing. I'm singing like you've never heard my voice before, like Klingon. That's like, because like just like artists, you can probably rap slow, rap fast, and so like I feel like I can sing really Frank Sinatra if I wanted to, like a Frank Sinatra vibe, a reggae vibe, or I don't know, like Cool in the Gang, in 80s, 80s baby stuff. So this is wherever I want to go, like, but I have to practice to it too to make it sound right.
Right.
So like I know, like I'm not gonna be karaoke, you guys. It's not like, trust me, like I know when it's corny, so I'll be like, I actually, I tell Solomon out there, and you remember Solomon Star?
I was looking at the pictures. I do. I think he came
to mic check. He came to mic check, and he did a couple of jams with me.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the picture when y'all was at mic check right here. I believe I remember him.
Yeah,
I don't know if I got to chop it with him very much, but
so I always tell him like I record a song and I'm like, hey, delete the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it all over, man.
Yeah.
He's like, are you sure this is hot? And I'm like, yeah, I know you think it's hot, but I'm not gonna keep it. He's like, none of this, none. I'm like, no.
It's the artist in you though.
Yeah, and I gotta change the whole sound of the snare. I'm gonna change the way the song ends too. So like Megan knows too. I'm like, Megan's like, are you gonna put this song out? I'm like, nope. Actually, I'm not gonna do it. Like,
curse of the perfectionist.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be feeling sorry for Megan, 'cause I'll be playing her songs and they get stuck in her head,
Yeah.
and they never
never come to fruition.
Yeah.
Well, bruh, like I said, I know that you're a busy dude, so I definitely appreciate the opportunity to have to just chop it up with you. Like I said, not on some like real quick listen to this listen to this new joint, but just to kind of get into a little bit of your backstory and talk about the things that you're working on right now and the things that we have to look forward to in the future. So thank you, brother. Thank you for coming through, man.
Yo, thank you for reaching out. And every time, like, it's always just good to, like you said, the best combos are off the mic. And I really enjoy talking to you. Like, it's like, I'm like, where was I at to not have met you before? Like, when I lived here. So it's like, but I feel like this is the right time,
Cause everything happens when it's supposed to.
It definitely makes sense for me to know you now. I feel like I just bumped into OG1 at the other day, just being at K-Boo.
Oh, word.
It was a crazy story because I wasn't even supposed to go back there. I went back there at 5 o'clock in the like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he was there doing a show. So he said that he has a certificate for me.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I was like, signed by the mayor. I was like, that's huge.
Yeah, man.
So that kind of stuff, like, I feel music a lot. I can become a crybaby when I hear beautiful music. It starts in my stomach for some reason. I don't know. It makes me like, like you could cry. I could cry about it. But like that was like something I was just like, man, I was so happy because really it's hard for me to I like recognition. I like when people say, hey man, you're a producer, you got cool stuff. And I'm always really always literally touch my heart because I could feel it like, oh, hey bro, like thank you. But like, I'm not like an everyday cry. I don't just cry because it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, this Johnny's crying at the movies again. Like,
yeah.
But now I feel it just like a deep passion because I remember all the frustrations of even trying to get the music to where I like it.
Yeah.
So when people tell me something, like, especially if you win, I was received a certificate. It's like, whoa, like.
Well, it's always cool to be recognized for the work that you do, man. And,
it's huge.
And I think the goal of doing that for one another, for our community, is something that we're not necessarily used to, and so I think it's cool that something like this is happening and people can physically see the recognition that they've worked for and deserve. So big ups to you for making art, for continuing to make art, and then for sharing it with the masses, man. Not just giving it to yourself.
Appreciate it.
For sure. My man Jonny Cool, check out the website. It's johnnycool86.com. There's a bunch of music there. You can check out links to Galactic Star as well. Big ups to Megan for always being my conduit to Johnny. Thank you for coming through for real.
Yeah, thank you, Megan, because I be like, I was, yeah.
So once again, man, big ups to my folk over at Acapella Apparel for their support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check them out at acapella.com. That's AKEPELE.com. Big ups to my folk at X-Ray FM for being so generous with allowing me to record the Klyph Notes podcast here at the station. Check out the website www.xray.fm.com for all kinds of information on the website, and for shows that are available on the site as well. And of course, big ups to my guy, Theory Has It, for doing the official theme music for the Klyph Notes podcast. Remember, you can check out Johnny coming up this Saturday, the 8th of September, over at Future Shock. It's free and it's all ages, so come through and say what's up. Check me out all over social media at DJ Klyph. It's at DJKLYPH, or check out the DJ Klyph website and reach out, man. Link with me and let me know what you think of the website or what you think of the podcast. And then remember, the podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast. That's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or you can go to www.klyphnotes.com. And if you listen on Apple Podcasts, man, be sure to comment and rate. It goes a long way in helping us do what we're trying to do. If you rock with Alexa, you can also enable the Klyph Notes podcast as a skill on Alexa. Just say, Alexa, enable the Klyph Notes podcast. All right, y'all. That's it. That's another episode of Klyph Notes. Once again, big ups to my guy, Jonny Cool, and Megan for coming through. Until we have an opportunity to do this again, be blessed. Peace.